All right, we live in 10 seconds. Yo, so this is Black Lives Antimatter, aka B.L.A.M TV. Tonight we're gonna be talking about legacy. Specifically, we're gonna be talking about Kobe Bryant, his legacy and the legacy that he left behind. Growing up in Philadelphia, it was interesting for me because Kobe's name rang bells in the city. Back in the day before he played for the NBA, I just remember I used to hear about him a lot. You know what I mean? And I wasn't even like I didn't even consider myself like, it was people in the neighborhood that was ball players and sports fanatics and really into that. Me, I was into reading books and just studying life in general, man. So for his name to ring bells and to get back to me, and people I know was like, yeah, man, I was on the court playing this guy named Kobe from Lower Merion. You know what I'm saying? One of the high schools I went to was Simon Gratz, and I remember seeing Rasheed Wallace in the hallways. You know what I'm saying? And, he used to be walking through the hallway with his girlfriend. And even at that time, it was just like his name would ring bells. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of them kind of things where somebody's so good, the name just be ringing bells like, you know what I mean? And that's my initial memory of Kobe. And then, of course, by the time he made it to the NBA, drafted straight out of high school, he was just blazing everything. It was like somebody you couldn't ignore. Like I remember when Allen Iverson was playing, he was somebody you couldn't ignore. Even if you wasn't a sports fan, even if you wasn't a ball player, you couldn't ignore him. And then talking about legacy, man, I just wish him and people like him had more time on this planet because the direction they was going in and the ideas that they had and the things that they were revolutionizing and changing and the barriers they were breaking and the things they were teaching their children and how they were rearing their children. These are things that we need to see more of. So Kobe is somebody that I grew to admire beyond just sports, but just as a person and as a human being. So tonight, some of the experts on Kobe sitting with us tonight. And we're going to share their perspective.
Go ahead, Bill. You all costumed up, man. I like that, by the way. I like that, man. That's real. I like that.
Yeah, so for me, man, Bean is my boy, man. You know what I mean? I'm probably one of the biggest, sickest Laker fans anybody ever gonna meet or know. You know what I mean? So when we score Kobe, man, off the rails for me, man. You know what I'm saying? I refer to Kobe as better than Mike. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get some blowback from that from somewhere, but that's what I call him. So for me, my initial introduction came from one of the older guys in my neighborhood, man, who was a ball player, college, collegiate level, man. He came back and was like, yo, you got to see this young kid. Cole probably was like 15 at the time. And he started telling us how Cole was just destroying cats in the Baker because he played down the Baker League. At 15, Cole was just wreaking havoc, man. Which speaks to his pedigree. His father was an NBA star. His uncle was a schoolyard legend, high school basketball star. You know what I mean? So, man, I'm ready to get it cracking on this joint. So, but I do want to share something with y'all, man. Two of Kobe's favorite quotes, man. The first one is everything negative, pressure challenges. Hold on, that's not right. Everything negative, pressure challenges is all an opportunity for me to rise. The second one is the one that I like the best. So I don't want to be the next Michael Jordan. I want to be Kobe Bryant.
Man, but he emulated the hell out of Michael Jordan, though.
Took it to another level.
Man, he copied him on a lot of stuff, man. But I want to go back to what Elanaj was saying. He was kind of like a pop star in Philly, man. I mean, if it's gonna be pop, that's if we define pop like transcending the Black culture, that was Kobe in Philly, man. He was something like a phenomenon, man. he was dating like Brandy and shit like that. I mean, that's unheard of. Like in Philly, you know what I mean? That's out there. Brandy's a Cali girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he attracted all the way from another coast. So he was something like a revelation, man. And he was so good that, of course, he got drafted straight out of high school. But I don't think he got drafted 13th by Charlotte and then traded right away. So if they thought that he was going to be what he turned out to be, he probably would have went number 1, right?
Yeah. So the interesting thing about that statement is, Kobe's the one who forced that trade. After Charlotte drafted him, he was like, "I'm not playing there."
Okay.
Somebody got to make a deal. You know what I mean? And they made the deal for Lottie Divac for Kobe Bryant, man. Took my fandom to the next level.
Why ain't you want to play there?
The market wasn't big enough.
Kobe was what you would call a pop star, like I said, man.
Yeah, he was a visionary.
LA, man.
He was a visionary, you know.
He wanted to be out there in LA, man, doing his thing, man. He wanted a big market, man.
Exactly. He was ready for it, you know. He was born for it. He was born for it, man. The things I'm gonna touch on tonight also about Kobe, man, is like I think Kobe had an amazing business sense, man. What he did off the court, man, often is overshadowed by his on the court legacy. You know what I mean? But he was a very astute and accomplished businessman as well. And he actually brought that same killer Mamba mentality to everything he touched. Everything that he dived into, man, he dived into it with that same vigor. And I mean,
stories are legendary too.
Yeah.
Legendary stories, man.
Oh, absolutely, man. I'll go as far as to say, man, I think Kobe was destined for really great things, man, post NBA. You know what I mean? I'll go as far as to say that the dude might have been president of the United States at one day, man. You know what I mean?
But he had dreams bigger than basketball.
For sure.
When he retired, he didn't retire and go away, man. He was still connected to the league. And he was pulling in young players. He had like his academy, the Kobe Academy.
The Mamba Academy, yes.
Mamba Academy.
Yeah.
Where everybody was coming. That was like where everybody came to show respect, man.
Man, listen, man. Kobe went as far. He trained such athletes, man, like Giannis, Kawhi, Trae Young, Luka, Jason Tatum, Kyrie, Paul George, a couple NBA stars, man. He had former ball players, man, running to him, bringing their children to him so they can learn. Just that mentality, man. You know what I mean? It was so much bigger than what you could do on the court, man. It was just about building that confidence for life itself. I mean, you talk about it, man. This dude was special, man. Dude was special. Going too soon. Going far too soon.
Yeah, the one thing that he's very similar in is that he had a killer instinct, like in terms of whatever he was competing in, his goal was to win at all costs. It's the same killer, drive that Michael Jordan had, but I think off the court, he wore it better.
Yeah, next level.
Yeah, he wore his killer drive better than Jordan did off the court.
Well, I think he wore it better than Jordan on the court. Yeah, I said it.
That's you though. That's you with all your Kobe gear and background. But he wore it better, man. A whole lot better. And he wore it so well that people were attracted to him off the court. Unlike
after
George.
He retired.
Well, because he was trying to kill you on the court, but
he's a dream snatcher.
Yeah. But I think people understood that and respected that, and then
it's kind of
like then off the court it was all love,
Right. Yeah, so
all love. So
you finished?
What do you think his legacy is right now, though, man?
What's his legacy right now? Excellence, man. To achieve excellence. The pursuit of excellence.
I want to touch on that.
Everything that you do.
Because I got the Mamba mentality book right here, man.
We knew that was coming. Yeah, we knew that was coming.
I got it right here, man. He opens up, man, with like he talks about, I remember when, as a kid, I got my first real basketball. I loved the feel of it in my hands. I was so enamored with the ball that I didn't actually want to bounce it or use it because I didn't want to ruin the pebble leather grains or the perfect grooves. I didn't want to ruin the feel. So Kobe's been in love with basketball since he could ever remember, man.
Right. No,
And it's in his family.
Exactly.
I was gonna say that one of the things that I don't hear people talk about too often is his relationship with his father. His father was a pro ball player, right?
Yeah, Jelly Bean.
And so I would imagine his father schooled him on a few things coming up.
Oh yeah, and his uncle Chubby Cox, man. Chubby Cox is a Philadelphia legend as well on the hoop tip, man. So, I mean, his pedigree is impeccable, man. You don't get much better than that. He got high level ball coming from both sides of the bloodline.
So we had like a Floyd Mayweather, Roger Mayweather type situation going on.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, maybe a little deeper. I don't know if Floyd got an uncle or something on his mom's side that was a high level boxer, but I get where you're going with it.
Boy, he had his dad's brother, Roger Mayweather.
Yeah. He had his dad. Then he had his dad's brother, right?
Yeah, and then he traveled the world too, man. People don't talk about how well traveled Kobe was, man.
Well, yeah, let's get into that a little bit, man. I remember reading up on Kobe when he moved to Italy, man. Basketball was basically his only outlet because when he moved there, he didn't speak the language. You know what I'm saying? He's a little scrawny kid. He wasn't the Kobe that we know him to be, but he had this admiration and this high enamor for basketball. So, that was kind of like his getaway. And it allowed him to actually mingle, intermix with the other kids, basketball being the universal language in that sense. You know what I mean? So that's when he started really balling. You know what I'm saying? Then he came back to the States and started honing his game, man. You know what I mean? And the drive, man, the drive is second to none. And that's why, that's one of the reasons why I call him better than Mike, man. You know what I'm saying? Because he had, as we stated earlier, that drive he had ever since he was young, just to hear him describe the basketball. I got a brand new ball in my car right now, bro. Like, you understand? I keep it with me because I love the way it feels too. Like, I'm not a baller like that, but I get down a little bit. I can, but I know I can identify with that, man. When you grab that leather, man, that joint is crazy, guys.
Yeah, as a tradesman, man, you gotta love, the tools of your trade, man.
Yeah.
And he showed that, man. He showed that big time, man. Y'all know he about to be inducted into the Hall of Fame by Jordan, right?
That I didn't know.
That's coming up, man. Yeah.
They could have came and got me to induct him, man. That's some bullshit.
Well, him and Jordan was tight, man. For all the rivalry stuff that they talk.
I'm just hating on Mike. I'm just hating on Mike, man.
They was tight, man. So
yeah, man. I remember watching when Kobe died, man. You know what I mean? I remember they interviewed Michael Jordan, man, and of course it was a tearful segment and everything, but he was saying what he remembered, man. Kobe would call him like 3, 4 in the morning, man. You know what I'm saying? With these questions about a move that he saw Mike do, to have Mike break it down so he can understand the mechanics of the move. Like, you know what I mean? This dude was like basketball was just a part of his fabric. You know what I mean?
So for me,
that's gonna be dope. Mike inducted him into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, absolutely. So that story right there kind of goes into my mentality, man.
Yeah.
The drive to be better at whatever your craft is. Like he was getting into filmmaking, right?
Yeah.
That was his thing, man. He had already like on his first entry into a film, he got some type of award, man.
I was just thinking about that.
Remember what it was.
Was it an Oscar or I think it was an Oscar.
I don't know if it was an Oscar, but it was one of them. It was prolific though.
Yeah. You get Grammys for movies? Grammys is music, right?
Yeah, it was something.
He got something. Yeah, he got some kind of major award for that. I do remember that.
What about his rap career?
Son was
Kobe tried to he tried to stay close to the streets, man. But
son was banging it out with Beanie Siegel, man. Stop playing with me, Dread. He was nice. He just ain't had a following. He was nicer than Shaq. I said that too.
Shaq, he's like Shaq can say he's the god of basketball rappers. But his Mamba mentality, I think, really, as we go on, his athletic exploits, I think, will still be there, but people will talk about his Mamba mentality, man. I think that's gonna live on, man.
Yeah, so speaking of that, real quick, I just want to add this, man. His academy wasn't just about basketball, neither, man. It was a 360-degree training facility.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You know, they trained the basketball courts, they had volleyball courts. He trained track and field, professional level. He trained professional athletes, and he had a youth sports program. You know what I mean? So he was hitting it on all levels, man.
So the direction it sounds like he was taking was, you know what? If some of these, because really, just a little background, what a lot of I guess agents do is when they sign you, they put you with their team of folks, their athletic trainers, and they get you to all these types of facilities, but they charge you for that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They charge you for that. I don't know if Kobe had a charge for that, but I'm sure just the credibility alone that he had, you know, would draw in the high profile athletes. So he was getting into that arena where sort of like what The Rock was doing, where they represent athletes and stuff. So
Talk to
man,
me about
he was in there, man. He was. I think he was going in that direction, bro.
Yeah, I mean, ironically, man, I like to hear Matt Barnes talk about Kobe Bryant and how his twins. He got twins that's balling now, the young kids, and he took them right to Cole. Them being former teammates, and Cole really banged with Matt. You know what I mean? With them being former teammates and everything, he took his kids, was like, yo, turn these dudes out, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? They want a ball. You can teach them far more than I can. You know what I mean? And, I'm not sure if he was charging. I'm pretty sure maybe guys like that, of course they're going to charge that. I mean, but I know that wasn't his motivation behind creating the academy.
Exactly. That's where I'm headed at with it.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm headed at with it. Man.
Yeah, it was more philanthropist than anything else, man. You know what I mean? And then he got two of his daughters were athletes, man. His oldest daughter is a volleyball player. I can't remember what school she goes to, but she's a collegiate volleyball player. And Gigi, of course, Gigi was about to be the next big thing, man. I think, if I ain't mistaken, I think she had already procured a contract. A scholarship at UConn.
Yeah, she was at there. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean that's just on pedigree alone. That's crazy. Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, man.
That's crazy.
Absolutely. Nah, you had something?
Yeah, I mean, y'all really just touched on it. I was getting ready to say, talk to me about Kobe the father.
Oh yeah.
Well, we really didn't touch on it, man. I don't want to dominate this joint either, man.
I mean,
I got something to say, but go ahead, man.
It's your area of expertise, man. Go for it.
I think Cole, man, was like, he was ultra committed to his girls, man. What do you have, 4 girls? He was ultra committed to them, man, being the best father that he can. I remember also reading, that he had separate date nights for each one of his daughters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I can see that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Just to make sure that they had that connection. You know what I mean?
I can see that.
Yeah, I really don't know, Cole was a man amongst men. Somebody else got to jump in there.
Yeah, he was a man amongst men. Absolutely, man.
Super dad.
And you know what? When he passed, man, it was sort of like a revolution in terms of like all the fathers coming out and repping their daughters, man. I'm a girl dad. It was a campaign that kind of went off when because I don't know how it is for other girl dads. I'm a girl dad. You're a girl dad, man.
Yeah.
There's a difference in between. It's a difference in between how we raise our daughters, man.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's a bond. There's a bond there when we think about our daughters, man. And Kobe kind of exemplified that, man. You kind of saw that, man. Him and Gigi was inseparable, man.
Yeah, man. I remember that day, man. Like when actually me and Ooze was coming home from watching the game. Scandal had a game somewhere, and it came across the radio, man. And I was like, I was in disbelief, man. I'm like, nah, this is probably just some fake news or whatever. Like, you know what I mean?
Everybody was, man. Shit.
Yeah, I was a complete. I'm gonna tell you, I was a complete denial, man. Probably for about a week, cause you know what I mean. But when it resonated, man, I just as a girl dad, man, that's the first place my head went. It was like, damn, I pictured myself in that helicopter with my daughter. You know what I'm saying? And having to look at her face and knowing that there's nothing I can do or say that's going to change the outcome of what's going to happen.
Bro, listen.
That shit, man, that shit I'd like to broke me, man. Just to have that thought in my head that, yo, I'm helpless. As great as I am, as rich as I am, you know what I mean? As much as I represent to the world, I can't stop this right here from happening. I can't save my baby. I
remember that day too.
Yeah, I might have took my daughter and jumped out the fucking helicopter, bro, like on some real shit. Man, as a girl dad, man, that shit still fucks with me.
Yeah, I remember when that happened too, man. I kind of like looked at that like that's got to be some fake shit, right? You know
right,
what I mean?
Right, yeah, man.
Fuck out of here with that dumb shit, man. Don't be doing that, man. You know what I mean?
Wasn't funny at all.
And then when that shit really hit, man, I kind of just stopped. Damn, man. Life is fleeting like that, man. Life is fleeting like that.
Yeah, so. It makes you realize how powerful you're not. You know what I mean?
Speaking of that, man, I wanna talk about X too, man. X is
Hold on, I gotta change my shirt. I'm only messing with you.
Man, listen, I kind of had the same reaction about X, man.
I didn't.
Well, we had just saw him in Better Days.
Right.
So yeah, I didn't expect to see that, man. But we don't know what people go through, and we're finding out now, man, that the struggles of life was still hitting at him, man. Still hitting at him big time. So the one thing that I noticed about X, man, and all of his time before us on screen, he just looked like a regular guy to me, man. I ain't seen him flossed out. I ain't hear nothing about no Lamborghinis, no Rolls Royces, and nothing. Matter of fact, we didn't see none of that. He didn't want to represent that, I don't think. It wasn't him, by the way, man. I didn't see none of that, man.
Yeah.
In his music, in his representation, I didn't see none of that, man. All I heard was a raspy voice and somebody barking. You know what I mean? That was his legacy, man.
Yo,
and
man. I'm sorry.
And from what we're hearing, man, he helped put a lot of people on, man. So,
oh yeah.
So yeah, man. We got hit when we lost him, bro.
Yeah, for me, man, one of the I got a funny memory about X, and I remember hearing him sing was it Jingle Bells? And it was hilarious, man, because it sounded like one of his raps, man. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, and he was holding notes and everything with that rasp, man. I was like, that's amazing, man. For me, the personification of DMX always reminded me of Tupac. I think they had the same stuff.
Same makeup.
Yeah, man, it was just so genuine and so original, man. Like, there's no faking it at all. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I appreciated about X, man. You know, just the raw, unadulterated transparency that he moved and operated with, man. Even down to his addiction, man. Like nothing was ever a secret, man. You know, I hear a lot of people talk about DMX the last week or two. And, you know, these cats would be like, man, you know, X, no matter where he was at, what you like, he'd stop in the middle of his show, man, and drop and start praying with you or start praying for the crowd, whatever. Like, I mean, dude was amazing, man. And just a raw talent, man. You know what I mean? We'll never see anything like that again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, much love to DMX, man. You know, dope dude, dope and one of the dopest MCs I've ever heard, man. This dude can literally take anything and turn it into a hit. You know what I mean? Hey man, he had me loving the Jingle Bells joint, man.
Yeah, man, he was a talented artist, man, and apparently Tupac was one of the people that influenced him the most, man. So
I can see that. I can see
So,
that the
yeah.
transition to the screen, to the big screen, and all of that. Like, I mean, it was kind of like a mirror career almost, man. But L, I know you got something on X.
Too much, man.
Let's go.
Too much.
Let's have it.
You know, man, I almost hesitate to speak on this because my thoughts have been going in so many different directions. And then when somebody just passing away, you kind of want to be mindful of what you say, you know what I mean, at the same time, but still be honest about my thoughts. But I'm gonna start with just where it all began for me. I was working in nightclubs since before I was even legally able to drink. And I was working in nightclubs when DMX was at the peak of his career, as far as his time on Def Jam. And so in the clubs, I heard DMX so much, I just ain't want to hear DMX. But you couldn't help it.
I
It was
understand that.
everywhere.
I understand that. I definitely understand that. I was feeling like that last week, bro. I like I can't take it no more.
yeah,
So at the height of DMX's career, I kind of had to just shut my brain off a little bit because I like to take things in my time, not necessarily be bombarded. And I'm telling you, in the club, it was like back to back DMX. When you leave the club, people still playing it. So it was like, yo, it was rough for me. Just a period of time in my life. Fast forward, my man from Philly, his name is Black Keys. Black Key. He produced a joint for DMX called "They Don't Know," and
Who we be?
yeah, and lyrically,
Yeah,
X took a different approach on this one.
agree.
So you know what I mean? Like really caught my attention, even beyond the prayer stuff. The prayer stuff I can rock with and I can respect. But as far as a song and taking a different lyrical approach, I could see his evolution. You know what I mean? Coming from somebody like in the beginning of his career. See, this is the thing. The music industry was in a space at that time where it wanted people that talked about shit that basically was criminal minded or prison minded, so to speak. You know what I mean? The industry was salivating for that type of feedback from artists. And DMX fit into that mold initially, lyrically. If we talk about lyrics, you know what I mean? Like he was on that heavy, he knew how to really play that lane in the beginning stages, that killer niggas style of rap. You know what I mean? He started to evolve as a person, as a human being, as a lyricist. And he wrote this joint, They Don't Know. The lyrics, part of his lyrics go, the bullshit, the drama, the guns, the armor, the city, the farmer, the babies, the mama, the projects, the thugs, the children, the tears, the hugs, the love, the slugs, the funerals, the wakes, the churches, the coffins, the heartbroken mothers. It happens too often. The problems, the things we use to solve them. Yonkers, the Bronx, Brooklyn, Harlem. The hurt, the pain, the dirt, the rain. The jerk, the fame, the work, the game. Friends, the foes, the bins, the hoes, the studios, the shows, comes and it goes. Jealousy, the envy, the phony and friendly. The one that gave him slugs, the one that put him in me. The snakes, the grass, too long to see, the lawnmower sitting right next to the tree. Like, yo, that's poetry right there. You know what I'm saying? That's
Know
yeah. They don't know who we be.
Hell yeah.
hey.
Oh man, that joint sent chills up my spine right there, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Lyrically,
I think like if we look at Mill's background, that Rough Riders, I think that song probably was born out of the pain, out of the breakup of Rough Riders, man. From what I understand, was a lot of bullshit behind that, man. And you know, he was one of the ones at the forefront putting that together, man. But the two dudes behind him, what was it, D and Y, I think it is, man. They, according to X, they stabbed him, backstabbed him. So
They did him dirty.
they did him dirty on that. And I think, yeah, he got another joint that he did on Deaf Poetry, the industry. You know what I mean? And I think that was a tight piece too, man. So what do we think his legacy is, man?
Well, this is the thing, man. This is why I say my thoughts have just been running wild, man, as far as DMX is concerned, because I'm very critical of everything. What I take in, what I see, what I observe. It's not just like he was a celebrity, he was a rapper, so he my hero. Like, I study his whole life, man. And you know, he went through a lot of trauma from a young age, like a lot of us, man. I mean, the type of trauma that really breaks a person. You know what I mean? He talks about how his mentor, the person he looked up to the most, tricked him into smoking crack by rolling it up in the weed. I know people that became crackheads. Like, I got family that became crackheads. Like, a friend rolled up some crack and didn't tell him, and then they just hooked. You know what I'm saying? So he went through a high level of trauma, and then he introduced to the black community animal therapy. Without even calling it animal therapy. But that's what it essentially was.
Pit bulls and parolees, right?
Huh?
Pit bulls and parolees. That's what you're talking about, right?
Right.
I like that link, man.
Right.
I like that, Mick. We watched that, man. Go ahead, Drake. Go ahead.
So he coined that term dog. You know, for me, because of my studies at the time, I was looking at it like, well, damn,
I got you.
We went from calling each other gods to calling each other dogs, but okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But my point is that I watched him evolve through all of this trauma, through all of these different expressions to the person that he became most recently. You know what I mean? And you know, he was a different type of person as far as the man that he evolved into, and that's kind of how I look at people and look at their lives, man. Who did they work to become? What did they work to fight through? What struggles they work to overcome? You know what I'm saying? Versus projecting that onto other people and hurting other people. You know what I'm saying? How you evolve beyond that space, and you can't take that from him, man. As far as him evolving as a black man in America, suffering trauma on levels that you can't even begin to comprehend.
Yeah, he kind of told you about it. But go ahead, man.
Right. Yeah, I heard Shantae speak to that more recently, man.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking.
That was touching, man. And me, I'm a hard liner on drugs, man, on drug addiction and stuff like that. I'm a hard line on that shit. But I can honestly say that, man, you know, X is kind of showing me he kind of made me change my position on that. You know what I'm saying? You know, I started looking at it less of a choice and more as a sickness. You know what I mean? Because I always want to say, listen, we all make choices, man. We are responsible for our choices, especially when we're making them consciously. You know what I mean? But, you know, after analyzing X, man, and hearing the story from different people in the industry and things like that, I realized that, you know what, the brother was sick, man. You know, and, you know, was it you who said he went through a lot that, I think it was you, Dred. He went through a lot that would have broke the average person.
Absolutely.
He was completely broken. You know what I'm saying? And he was always transparent about being broken, man. You know, so I think in terms of legacy, I don't know if it's manifested yet, but for men, he kind of shows you that it's okay to be vulnerable to a certain point. Vulnerability is not it's not a crutch. You know what I mean? It's okay to deal with your demons, is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? So I mean that's what I take from X, man. You know what I mean? Do you, be you, man. And you know, if you need the help, man, don't be afraid to let people know that you need help, man.
Well, not only that, he communicated the message to street mentality that you don't have to stay there. You don't have to get stuck there. You can evolve. You can become spiritual. You can commit and devote your life to God. You know what I'm saying? That element wasn't there prior to DMX.
No.
Jay-Z ain't do no shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Negative.
Nobody didn't. You know what I'm saying? Nobody embodied that street persona more and showed the world that I can mentally move past that. I don't have to just be on some killer nigga shit.
Right.
Then he's planted that seed for those that exist in that mentality. That you can still be strong, you can still be who you are, you can still be dope and evolve spiritually.
In lieu of all of that, yeah, I would definitely agree with that, man. You know,
And there is no greater legacy than that.
nah,
Like, like if I was to die today or tomorrow, I will hope that that's how I will be remembered.
yeah,
I will hope that that's how I would have inspired other people.
yeah, yeah. He definitely embodied, you know, recovery, if you will. It's okay to fall. You know what I mean? I'm kind of thinking of that analogy that Brahim blessed us with a few weeks ago, man, about the baby falling and getting back up and keep every time they fall, they get up. They fall 59 times, they're gonna get up 60. You know what I'm saying? That was X to me, man. You know what I mean?
That's an analogy for his life, man. The pain,
That's
the
what I'm trying to
story
say.
that, yeah, man.
Yeah, he had a tainted, troubled history, man. And
Yeah,
rose from it, man. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely, man. He rose from it, and I'm not gonna say he glorified it. That's not the right word. I'm trying to think. He submitted his pain to the world to see. You know, this is what I've been through. This is the pain that I've shouldered, and I'm not afraid to tell you that. This is what happened to me, but I'm here now. You know what I mean? I'm still doing this. I'm doing this. And
From that
go ahead.
perspective, I can honestly say he represents us as black men in that from that perspective. Like that is our untold story.
Yeah. Now that you said it, now that we getting into it, boy, that's for real right there, man.
I mean, again, man, his transparency to me was just amazing, dude. Like, I mean, and to not be bashful or shy or even ashamed.
Oh yeah.
Of who he was, man, or what he did, or when he fell down. You know what I'm saying? And
I give you a good example. Go ahead, man. Once you finish.
Yeah, he ain't go hide, man. You see that nigga completely cracked the fuck out, and I'm still DMX, nigga. You know what I'm saying? 6 months later, a year later, he back on top.
They showed a clip of him on Dr. Phil, right? And Dr. Phil put his lyrics up and joint, like almost like, are you really saying this? You know, like on that kind of thing. And he jumped in and he was like, yeah, dog, come on, let's go. You know what I mean? So he started, he didn't like the way Dr. Phil was doing his shit. So he was like, man, let me jump in here. He did it right, man.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with my shit. I ain't ashamed of my shit.
Right. Yeah, at all. Like, I mean,
you know what else was a classic too, man? He was on Ayanna Van Zant. He was on her show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, that was the most hilarious.
She was trying to back him down. He was like, man, fuck that, man.
Yo, he's like, yo, this bitch need to stop cutting me off. I'm trying to talk to my son. That's my son.
Hey, man, one thing about
cutting me off.
One thing about X, man, what you saw is what the fuck you got, man.
And he wasn't gonna change it whether he was on Dr. Phil in front of all these white facing crowds or in Van Zant, with the psychology stuff. He like, fuck that, man.
Me?
I'm still gonna be who I am, man.
They thought they was gonna change me. It ain't gonna happen, son.
Exactly. One of the most authentic dudes, man. And in front of any audience, you know how some comedians change their comedy based on the audience.
Yeah.
No, this the way you was introduced to me. This the way you gonna get it.
I mean, listen, man. That nigga's jewelry was a fucking dog chain, guys.
Consistently.
It wasn't no silver. It wasn't no platinum. This nigga had a real live dog chain that he rocked. I was like, I mean, come on, dog.
Consistently.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
His tat game was rough and looked unfinished and amateurish and all that shit, man. He ain't gonna get it fixed. He ain't gonna get the Marquise pieces all on him and all that. He rocked with what he had, like, you know what I mean. Never switched up, man.
Let's not
Respect that.
Let's not escape the fact that he got like 6 movies under his belt.
6
movies.
Yeah, 6 dope movies. I mean, he co-starred with Jet Li. Like,
yeah,
come on.
Yeah.
In a fight scene.
Right.
This nigga had a fight scene against Jet Li, cuz like what can you say, cuz? No training, you know what I mean? He just fucking went out there and did him, man, and it worked.
Just did him, man.
It wasn't none of that Rudy Ray Moore karate, man, he was doing, bro.
The fakest karate ever, man.
Wait, and let's not overlook his best, most prominent role, Belly, yo. He killed it in Belly.
Oh man, Tommy Buns.
What?
Woo.
That final scene that he did.
Woo. That's exactly where my head went at.
It was like he was built for that, man. He was built for the run that he took us on. He was built for that, man. You know what I mean? He was built for that in front of the camera, the performance stuff, the life stuff. He had trouble with, just like Ella said, man. He kind of parodies like the struggle that all black men go through, man.
Yeah, at some point in time, to some degree, I agree with you 100%. But you got me all in belly now, man.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna miss that brother, man.
That nigga took Terrell Hicks down and everything, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss that.
Yeah, man, and then jetted, like, you know what I'm saying? In true nigga fashion. She was wilding out on him. Come out the shower, he took her down and just hit the street, cuz I'm done with it. Like, she was cool with it too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Tommy Buns was a dope character, man.
All right, before we roll out, man, what's y'all best memory of him, man? And we'll get back to Kobe too. What's your best memory?
Taking down Terrell Hicks,
man. You just said the Belly.
Taking down Terrell Hicks. Nah, my best memory of X, man, for me, man, it's gonna sound silly. That fucking Jingle Bells, man.
The carol.
That's the only way I want to hear Jingle Bells again, man. I don't want to hear it unless DMX is singing it, man.
Yeah.
As simple as that might sound, man. I listened to that whole joint too, cuz I was tripping like, yo, this nigga crazy, man. That just speaks to his transparency, man. You know?
Yeah, he wasn't afraid, man, to try new stuff, man. What was yours, Nas?
Shit, these lyrics, man. You know what I'm saying? The streets, the cops, the system, harassment, the options, get shot, go to jail or get your ass kicked. The lawyers, the puzzle, the release, the warning, to try not to get in trouble, the snitches, the odds, probation, parole, the new charge, the bail, the warrant, the whole. Like, the lyrics, man, that video right there is, to me, one of the most fullest hip-hop songs ever recorded, man. As far as, lyricism, man. You know what I mean? And like I said, and on top of it, it's produced by somebody that I know from Philly. Like, because the production on it is dope. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's my best memory right there, man.
Best memory.
Yeah.
My best memory is the first time I saw this cat, man. Who was that? Money, Power, Respect, man. First joint, when he closed out the whole joint. Closed the whole joint out, right? Am I right?
That's the remix for Money, Power, and Respect? I think that's the remix, right? Yeah.
He closed that. He took that whole song, man.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, who the fuck is that? Right. With the 4 pound, baby.
Yeah, that was a Biggie, a bunch of niggas joined Nas live at the barbecue moment. That was one of them moments right there.
Yeah,
like,
man.
This dude.
First time I heard that, man, because that was the, Locks and and them boys and Puffy boys, they was like the rage, man. And then they brought him in. I was like, and he was the last one, of course, but he tore the whole frame out the joint, man. They gave him like a minute, and in that minute, he tore it all down, man.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck is that?
That's what he did every time he touched the mic, man. I keep telling you, man, niggas. I know people tripping off the jingle bells, man, but he killed that.
You know what I mean? And that was him, young, vibrant, just like he looked back there, man. But I heard a story, man, before he passed. A couple of the podcasts said that he was killing motherfuckers on battle rap. He never lost. Never lost.
That's what he said. That's what he said. He was like, yo, everything
never lost, man.
Everything I write is a battle rap. He said, I'm a battle rapper. That's all I do. Everything I write is a battle rap, man.
I never lost, man.
And I never lost a battle rap, man. Anybody tell you any different, they lying.
Well, he got people that verify that shit, man. They said, man,
verify that to me. That nigga don't lie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They it's verified. Motherfuckers will admit. Yeah, he got me. They said he had this one battle rap with the dog, man. He talked to the dog talked back to him, and he said, yeah, we got him. So yeah, man. We ain't gonna never have another one like him, man.
Nah, I don't see it. I don't see it coming, man.
It's gonna be another hot one, but they ain't gonna be big.
Ain't gonna be a DMX. No.
See, to me, that's what makes it a legacy, though. Like I don't even want another one.
Right.
A legacy is supposed to be something that you inspired by from that person and you carry it on. It's not a legacy unless it's carried on.
Yeah, got you.
You know what I'm saying? Which is the first three letters is laid. You know what I'm saying? It's something that they got to keep moving. They got to keep walking. They got to stay in motion. And that's what makes it a legacy. He inspired us. You know what I mean? So we gotta take that and keep growing with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't even want another DMX. I don't think he would want that for us. I think he would want us to take.
It better be one of his sons.
Yeah.
They got
he still won't be another D though.
Right now, what I'm saying, it would have to be that organic for me to accept it.
Oh yeah, got you.
Anything else is.
But you see what's happening, man. Y'all about to get me talking about Big Pun, son, man. But never mind. We talking about legacy, man.
I mean, we talking about legacy, so that's a part of it. You know what I mean? Like Big Pun son out there doing his thing.
He is, but he ain't Big Pun though.
Oh, there'll never be a big.
That's what I'm saying. So when you said I'll accept it if it's one of his sons, I was like, yeah, Big Pun's son is really doing real good, man. That dude is nice.
Yeah.
But he his own rapper though. He doing his own thing.
Yeah, I mean, ironically, that goes back to that Kobe Bryant quote, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be the next Michael Jordan. I only want to be Kobe Bryant.
Absolutely, man. And there'll never be another Kobe.
Right. Yeah, I don't care what the parallels are, man. What everybody else saying the parallels are. You know, Mike copied his game too. Like, let's keep it a bean. Dr. J copied his game. Everybody copied their game. Everybody pulled from the greats. That's what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, man, we talk about legacy, man. That's what kind of cements it, man, when you put your individual stamp on it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I want to shift gears real quick though, man. You know, I feel like I'll be quite remiss, or we would be remiss if we don't speak to the proceedings that's currently going on with the George Floyd trial. You know what I mean? And maybe we can do a quick segue from that into this Dante Wright situation. You know, I personally think, how ballsy do you have to be as a law enforcement person at this current time with the climate of the country being what it is for you to, you know, kill somebody else right now, like in the same city, you know, and for the authorities to basically, from my viewpoint, gloss it over by telling us they're going to charge her with manslaughter. You got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
Same shit, different day. Don't hold your breath. You know what I mean? And they're gonna keep killing. The sooner that's the whole concept of Black Lives Antimatter. For me, it's just looking at the situation for what it is. They ain't gonna stop killing. They ain't gonna stop escaping accountability for as long as they allowed to. And not to take nothing away from them because they at the boy house, the boy who ran up on the young boy that was walking through the neighborhood, the army dude. They at his house protesting. You know what I mean? People protest, people riot, and all of that. All right, listen, I'm not here to judge any of that at this stage of the game. I know what I need to do as far as um, being still in this moment, looking at the situation for what it is. Being still is not being complacent. Is recognizing the situation for what it is, and only way I see it changing, aside from some significant spiritual changes, only way I see it changing is to meet it accordingly. You know what I mean? And I ain't gonna elaborate too much on that.
Oh,
You know what I
enough
mean?
said, bro. Enough said on that one. You can leave that one hanging right there. Let them decipher that one for themselves. If you don't know, then you ain't supposed to know.
You know what I mean? Otherwise, the same shit, different day. None of this shit is new, man. This shit been going on since before I was born, all the way through my whole life. And I'm convinced that this particular germ man, this particular devil, he ain't got no intentions on stopping for as long as he allowed to run rampant and
Why
kill
should
and steal and destroy. That's what he does.
Why should he stop?
He ain't gonna stop until he's made to stop. Man is woman.
Right. What you got on that, feet?
Bruh. We're at war, actually, man, whether you know it or not, man.
Yeah, so I like to bless the people. I generated an acronym for war that I think we need to employ. My acronym for war is "We are ready," and if we aren't ready, then we need to get ready.
That's it, man.
Right. I ain't gonna even talk about the Johnson and Johnson vaccine. them the current events I like to attack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, same shit though. Again, and that, that's that. Tying all of this together with the DMX thing and all of that, man. The trauma that we suffer, that's made up to look like normal. You know what I mean, the trauma that we go through, the way it's normalized, whether it's whether it's the handgun of a trigger happy police officer or the needle of a malicious doctor.
Science.
You know what I'm saying, or whatever have you. It's just different weapons, all with the same intent, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's to wipe us completely the fuck out. You know what I mean? Keep us out of the picture so our women and our children can be made vulnerable, easily controlled. Like Pete said, these are the fundamentals of war as in terms of how they operate. This is how they are. This is how historically we talked about the joint exterminating all brutes. I just watched another episode of that tonight, Feet. If you haven't seen that yet, watch it.
Listen, man, that's not exact. That's not nothing that's not what I expected at all. I don't even know how to categorize this joint, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to digest what I've been watching. I'm not even ready for comment on this yet, man. I got to go back and read.
Yeah, we gotta put that in. We gotta put that in. We gotta talk about that at some point, man. But you gotta digest that though.
I'm gonna need about another week.
Next show.
You're gonna have to digest that, man.
Yeah, I say next show we'll pick up this conversation, the concept of what we're dealing with.
All I'm gonna say is at the end of the 4 shows, if you still where you at in your mindset after those 4 shows, that's on you. That's on you.
That is completely unadulterated. Like I said, even for me, that's a lot, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, before we roll out, I'll say this. I followed up, man, because I just wanted to know more about the brother who put that whole thing together. So I peeped a couple of YouTube videos. He did a couple of conferences and he talked about his approach, etc. It's not a game with him. He's sick of this shit. He's sick of all this bullshit.
Like
all this historical misrepresentation. He's sick of all that shit, man.
You are being far too kind, sir.
Yeah.
Historical misrepresentation.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the way he just framed that. Did you get to before we roll? Did you get to episode 3, Naj?
I don't even know what episode is on. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's just
I'm
running.
with you, man.
I'm just watching.
I'm with you.
This shit is running, and I'm just like.
Did you see the graphic? Did you see the graphic of all the from out of Africa?
Yeah, that's the one I'm on now. I just watched it.
And then the years.
Oh my God.
And the traffic in the years. I was like,
bro, look at this face.
Oh, bro. It was crazy, man.
That was my face last night, Feet.
Yeah, this joint disrespectful, man. Wait.
That joint's right on point.
Yeah,
right on point.
Yeah.
It's right on point. It's another joint somebody put me down with on Amazon Prime called Them. I'm trying to get into, man.
Yeah, man. I know that's like
trauma porn, man.
I know it's some white folks put that together.
It's trauma porn, bro.
Trauma porn?
Yeah, man. You never heard that before, man?
No. No, I didn't.
That's that shit that make you want to go fuck somebody up.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out, man.
Right after you watch that shit, you be like, man, I was
trying to figure out with that joint, man. I was trying to figure out, like, when they rolled up to the crib, like, I was trying to figure out why they just ain't keep driving.
Nah, bro, that's how it was, man. That's real, man. That's why I'm not watching it. It's real, man.
It's nothing that could compel me to be the only one of my kind anywhere.
Well, it happened though, Mill.
It did. It's actual.
Everywhere. The mindset was we equal. We should be able to live wherever we want to live, just like you live where you live. But yeah, that the reaction was pretty much what we saw. So.
Yeah, I get that, man. You know,
absolutely, man. So.
Trauma porn.
Yeah, man, that shit is trauma porn.
But a note of the trial too, man. You know, the goal of the defense attorney is to cast reasonable doubt, and I've been keeping up with the trial, and I've been keeping up with a lot of the comments as far as how people are responding to the defense. And so basically what they're trying to say is the drugs in the system killed him and not necessarily the knee on the neck. And they also try to say that the knee wasn't on his neck, but it was actually on his shoulder.
So for what, 2 seconds?
Yeah, so the point is all you got to do is cast any sense of reasonable doubt in one of the jurors. You know what I mean? And I can say that
that's why they were trying to stack the jury, though. Weren't they complaining that it was too many black people, too many black and brown people on the jury?
Of course they're going to do all of that. That's all part of jury selection. But yeah, the defense attorney did that as far as casting reasonable doubt. The prosecutor came back. To me, it looked like a dance. You know what I mean? Another dance, man. I ain't holding my breath. I mean, even if by some strange chance there's a conviction, I doubt that the conviction is going to match the crime. You know what I'm saying? And you know,
what, a murder 3? Is that what he's being charged with?
Manslaughter, I think. You know what I mean?
On manslaughter now?
I think so. I ain't 100% sure though.
I noticed they hit with the female cop. They hit her with the manslaughter from the rip.
I mean, at the end of the day, there's only, you know, like I said, man, it ain't too much that I need to say or you know what I mean, as far as elaborating, but you know, we down, like I said, outside of some type of spiritual revolution and spiritual awakening, which I do feel like that's happening also, just on a third dimensional physical level. There's only one proper response to what's going on. in terms of stopping it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I see time and time again. When they get caught out there, they get humble real quick. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm not really racist. Oh, I ain't mean it. You know what I mean?
So to that point, right? I'm seeing a slightly different dynamic introduced into this Dante Wright thing. He has a white mother. So it's kind of like they got to deal with that, man. I'm interested to see how they're going to deal with that.
Well, George Floyd at that time had a white girlfriend. She got up on the stand and testified.
That's different than from being the offspring of a white woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's way different, man. You know, they got to be. I still feel they got to be very delicate with this George Floyd conviction. There has to be a conviction of some sort.
No, it does not. Yeah.
It has to be.
No, it does not, man.
I think for the sanctity of the nation, it does.
Never. What sanctity of what nation?
They want to keep this shit together, man. They better put this dude in jail for a little bit of time, man. Something, man.
I mean, that's the ideal way of thinking. But this devil is so sinister and in such a desperate space right now. You know, I wouldn't be surprised, man, if it wasn't no conviction, because this devil, one, don't give a fuck. Two, this devil is sloppy. Three, this devil is ignorant. And four, this devil is all those things ingenious as far as being diabolical at the same time.
Okay, and you know what? I hear that, man, 100%. You know what I mean? So I guess
it's Mel Nodge. I'm gonna have to roll out, brothers.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll out, man. I'll catch up with y'all, man.
We all out of here. We all out of here. You know what I mean?
We ain't gonna start that.
We ain't fucking be here forever, man.
My bad. Peace out.
There's a lot to talk about, man.
Next week, you know what we need to be thinking about as far as putting together for the thing for next week. We'll pick up where we left off right here.
Yeah, we'll be more time conscious.
Exterminate all the brutes.
Exterminate all the brutes. That's what they trying to do now.
Yes, sir.
Word. So Black Lives Antimatter, B.L.A.M TV signing off. You know what I mean? Click the subscribe button, all that kind of stuff, and we'll see y'all next week.
We'll see y'all.